Good morning. Before you scroll past this, stop. Sit up straight for a second. Actually notice how your legs feel right now, this very morning, before you've eaten anything at all. Heavy? A little stiff behind the knees? Especially now, as mornings get colder and your joints feel it first. That feeling isn't nothing. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to explain exactly why it may be happening, and more importantly, what you can put on your plate before 8 o'clock to start changing it. Most doctors will glance at your chart, mention calcium, and move on to the next patient. 12 minutes. That's the average appointment length now. 12 minutes to explain 40 years of muscle biology. It's not a conspiracy, it's just math. Too many patients, not enough time. But it leaves a gap, and that gap has a name. I call it the morning muscle debt. It's the quiet toll your legs may be paying every single night while you sleep, and the deposit most people never learn to make when they wake up. Today, I'm going to fill that gap. My name is Dr. Victor Wells. I've spent close to 3 decades sitting across from patients who were absolutely convinced their wobbly knees and their difficulty standing up from the couch were simply part of getting old. I need you to hear me clearly this morning. That belief has cost people their independence, and it is, in large part, not supported by what the research actually shows. What you eat in the first hour after waking, so not lunch, not dinner, that first hour, may play a bigger role in slowing leg muscle breakdown than almost anything else in your daily routine. Not a pill, not a powder shipped from overseas, a food, one you've probably eaten 100 times without knowing what it could be doing for the muscles holding you upright. Before we get into it, tell me where you're watching from this morning. And tell me one thing, just one, that you refuse to give up because of weak legs. Walking the dog, getting down on the floor with a grandchild, working in the garden until your knees say stop. Put it in the comments. I read every single one, and honestly, some of your stories have shaped entire videos I've made since. Let's talk about what may actually be happening inside your legs while you sleep, and why it matters so much the moment you wake up. After 7, 8, sometimes 9 hours without food, your body can shift into a catabolic state. That just means it starts looking for fuel in places you'd rather it didn't. Research suggests it may increasingly draw on muscle protein during these prolonged fasting windows, particularly in older adults. And because your leg muscles are the largest muscle groups in your entire body, they may take the biggest hit. Over time, quietly, no pain, no warning bell. That's the morning muscle debt starting to accumulate. The National Institute on Aging has noted that adults over 60 can lose a meaningful percentage of leg muscle mass across a decade if nothing interrupts this pattern. Not because 60 is some magic cutoff where the body gives up, but because the repair crew that rebuilds muscle protein starts responding slower to signals it used to catch instantly. Scientists call this anabolic resistance. I think of it like a garden hose you haven't used since last summer. The water, the nutrients, can still get there. But the pressure is lower, and you need more of the right ingredients pushing through to get the same result you once got effortlessly. And the part that rarely gets explained in a rushed appointment, if you skip breakfast, or you grab black coffee and call it a meal, you may not be interrupting that overnight breakdown. You could be extending it. In some individuals, the body continues drawing on muscle stores in the thighs, the calves, the hips, straight through mid-morning. Think of the morning muscle debt like a bank account that makes a small automatic withdrawal every single night. If you never make a deposit, if breakfast is skipped or it's just toast and jam, that balance drops. Over months, over years. And one morning you notice you're using both hands to push yourself up off the couch. Let me tell you about Helen. 68 years old, retired school teacher, lives just outside Portland. For years, she walked 2 miles every single morning, rain or shine. She used to joke that the rain was just extra cardio. But last spring, something changed. Getting out of bed took longer. Her ankles felt swollen even when they weren't. Then one Tuesday morning in April, reaching down to pick up her cat's food bowl, her knee buckled. Didn't fall completely, but it scared her enough to call her daughter crying. She wasn't diabetic, no arthritis diagnosis. Blood work came back normal. Her doctor, working within the reality of that 12-minute window, told her this was likely age-related decline and recommended she stay active. He wasn't wrong, but Helen felt like there was more to the picture that the appointment simply didn't have time to cover. So she started reading. digging into nutrition research she'd never encountered before. And then she did something smart. She brought what she found back to her physician, printed out 2 studies, asked questions. Her doctor reviewed them, agreed the approach was reasonable, and told her to track how she felt over the next 2 months. That conversation changed her mornings completely. She stopped skipping breakfast, stopped relying on coffee and a granola bar. She started building her first meal around specific proteins and minerals her legs may have been quietly lacking. 3 weeks in, she noticed the stiffness easing when she stood up. 5 weeks in, the 2-mile walk didn't leave her calves aching by the end. By week 9, she told her daughter, with simple, and I'm quoting her exact words from an email she sent me, "I feel like somebody gave me my old legs back, Dr. Wells." Her timeline was hers, yours may look completely different. Some people notice change sooner, some take longer. That's simply how bodies work. Alongside her regular checkups, she'd made one change her doctor supported, rebuilding her mornings from scratch. So let's get into exactly what she changed. 5 things. Write these down if you need to. Number 1. Whole eggs, yolk included. Boil 2 the night before if mornings are rushed, or scramble them fresh with spinach, magnesium, and antioxidants. In that spinach, do additional work that may support lower body muscle function. Eat this within about an hour of waking, while your body's still in that overnight deficit, ready to use the fuel immediately. Not egg whites alone, the whole egg. I know some of you had a doctor tell you decades ago to set the yolk aside because of cholesterol worries. That was the best guidance available at the time. Nutrition science has simply moved forward since then, and for muscle health specifically, the yolk may be doing real work. The yolk carries vitamin D, B12, and an amino acid called leucine. Think of leucine as the foreman on a construction site. Without him showing up, the crew just stands around. He's the one that signals your body's muscle repair team to actually start working. Some clinical research on older adults eating 2 eggs a day over an 8-week stretch found measurable improvement in leg strength and day-to-day functional movement. Getting up from a chair, climbing a few stairs, that kind of unglamorous progress nobody claps for but you feel every single time. Paying down that morning muscle debt, one breakfast at a time. There's also the nerve angle most people never hear about. B12 supports the protective sheath around your nerves, a wiring that carries signals from your brain down to your leg muscles. When that wiring is well maintained, your steps may feel more assured, less hesitant. You plant your foot instead of shuffling it. Number 2. Greek yogurt or cottage cheese. Something worth knowing about protein and timing. Greek yogurt contains casein, which your body digests slowly, trickling amino acids into your bloodstream over hours rather than dumping them all at once. For someone in their 60s or 70s, that steady drip may matter more than one big spike. A 170-gram serving delivers around 17 grams of protein, plus calcium and vitamin D working together to support the communication between your brain deciding, "I want to stand up," and your legs actually executing it smoothly. Researchers studying older adults have observed that roughly 20 grams of morning protein, paired with even light movement, tends to show noticeable leg strength improvement within 6 weeks. 6 weeks, not years. Skip the sugary flavored cups. An added sugar can work against inflammation control, and inflammation is already quietly challenging your muscle tissue as it is. Plain Greek yogurt with a few unsweetened berries, maybe a sprinkle of cinnamon. Done. Number 3. A small ripe banana, eaten after your main breakfast, not before. Actually, let me ask you something first. How many of you have been jolted awake at 3 in the morning by a calf cramp so sharp it made you grab the headboard? That's potassium talking, or rather, the lack of it. A medium banana carries close to 400 milligrams of potassium, which helps maintain the electrical balance inside your muscle cells, the mechanism that keeps contractions smooth and controlled instead of sudden and violent. Some research looking at potassium-rich diets has found meaningfully fewer reported leg cramps among older adults compared to those eating less of it. Worth it. If you're managing kidney concerns or blood sugar issues, talk to your physician before increasing potassium. This isn't one size fits all, and a smaller, slightly underripe banana with more resistant starch may suit you better anyway. Number 4. Fatty fish. 2 mornings a week if you can manage it. Pan-seared filet in olive oil. 3 minutes each side. Serve it alongside a few slices of avocado. That's breakfast. If fresh fish isn't practical some mornings, smoked salmon works, or a quality fish oil, but real food first, always. Salmon, sardines, mackerel. These carry omega-3 fatty acids, specifically EPA and DHA. Published research, including work referenced in journals like the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, suggests these may support reduced inflammation in muscle tissue and improved insulin response, both of which could relate to how efficiently your body builds and holds onto leg muscle. Adults over 65 eating fatty fish twice weekly appeared to retain more leg muscle mass over time compared with those skipping it entirely, alongside better reported balance. The evidence is strong, though individual responses vary. Number 5. A small portion of steamed sweet potato with a pinch of mineral-rich salt. This one surprises people every time. Sweet potato replenishes the stored energy your muscles pulled from overnight, and does it slowly, without spiking blood sugar the way white bread or a pastry would. It also carries magnesium, sometimes called the relaxation mineral, because of its role in easing the kind of stiffness and cramping that makes those first morning steps feel like a negotiation with your own body. Celtic or mineral-rich salt, not standard table salt, provides trace minerals that may support electrolyte balance for muscle contraction. Some longer-term tracking of older adults eating fiber-rich breakfasts, sweet potato, mineral salts, that combination, found reported improvements in balance and fewer falls compared to those who skipped it. I've watched this exact pattern show up in my own patients over the years. Half a steamed sweet potato, 10 minutes before your main breakfast, alongside warm water. Simple. Now, beyond the plate, 3 small morning habits may matter more than people expect. Don't launch out of bed the second your eyes open. Sit up slowly. 3 deep breaths. Rotate your ankles and wrists. This helps circulation catch up before you're standing on legs that just spent 8 hours motionless. Second, 5 minutes of morning sunlight, even through a window, may support vitamin D production, which ties directly back into calcium absorption for bones and the muscles wrapped around them. Third, and this one takes 90 seconds, before breakfast, stand near a countertop and lift 1 foot 2 to 4 inches off the floor. Hold 10 seconds. Switch legs. That's it. Not a workout, just a wake-up call to muscles that have been idle all night. None of this requires a gym membership. None of it requires a prescription. What it requires is consistency, the same way Helen didn't feel a difference on day 2, or even day 10. It was closer to 3 weeks before her legs stopped feeling like, in her words, borrowed. I want to be honest with you about something. This isn't a guarantee, and anyone online promising you a total transformation with one breakfast food is stretching the truth further than the research actually supports. What the studies do show, consistently, across multiple sources, PGIS, is that combining adequate morning protein, key minerals like potassium and magnesium, and small movement habits may give your body a genuinely better shot at slowing the muscle loss that quietly accelerates leg weakness after 60. Consider it a personal experiment, a way to start paying down that morning muscle debt one morning at a time. Track how your legs feel getting out of bed after 2 weeks, after 4. Write it down if that helps. Your body will tell you what's working. You just have to actually pay attention to it, maybe for the first time in years. Try this, starting tomorrow morning. Not today, tomorrow, fresh. 2 eggs or a serving of Greek yogurt within that first hour of waking. A small piece of fruit or half a sweet potato alongside it. Fish twice this week if you can manage it. Within the first 4 or 5 mornings, pay attention to that very first step out of bed. The one where your ankle usually protests, or your knee catches for a half second before it cooperates. That's your first signal. Give the full approach 3 weeks before you judge whether it's making a real difference, because that's roughly the window Helen, and frankly, most of the research I've referenced, points to before change shows up in how you move. If you try this, and 3 weeks from now, standing up from a chair feels a little less like a negotiation with your own knees, I want to hear about it. Comment below. Tell me which food you're starting with tomorrow morning, and which activity you're determined to keep doing no matter what. Walking the dog, chasing grandkids around the yard, whatever it is for you. If this video helped you see your mornings differently, Subscribe. I post something like this most weeks, built entirely around helping people your age move through the world with more confidence and less fear of the next fall. And next time, I want to cover something almost nobody talks about: the specific evening habit that may be undoing everything you build in the morning, and how a 10-minute change before bed could matter just as much as breakfast does. Take care of your legs. They've carried you further than most people ever stop to appreciate. This information is for educational purposes only and is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or replace medical advice from your physician. Please consult your doctor before making changes to your diet, especially if you manage diabetes, kidney disease, or are on medications affecting potassium, protein, or electrolyte balance. Individual results vary, and no food or routine described here guarantees a specific outcome. This is Dr. Victor Wells. I'll see you in the next one.